Our next inductee is Tracy Rivers, a two-sport athlete who had coaches near and far offering him scholarships to attend their colleges. This self-proclaimed country boy, Tracy Rivers, wasn't ready for the big city life of Statesboro right away. Rivers would spend 2 years at Bruton Parker playing baseball before Coach J.I. Clemens convinced him to come to Georgia Southern, then South Georgia Teachers College. A member of the pitching staff that helped carry Georgia Southern to the national title game, Rivers earned both All-America status and was named to the NAIA All-Tournament team. In 18 innings of work, he did not give up a single earned run, which also set him up for his selection to the East All-Star All-American team. He was on the mound for the Eagles as they defeated defending champion Southern with a 4-hit performance, allowing only one unearned run. In 1963, Rivers was still a force to be reckoned with on the mound, compiling a pitching record of 6-3 and an ERA of 3.10, hitting an impressive .306. He signed a contract to play with the New York Mets, spending 3 seasons in the minor leagues, posting a 20-9 record with a no-hitter to his credit, before injury ended his career. After baseball, he developed a career in education and has traveled the world teaching English to children in other countries. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in honoring Tracy Rivers, the newest inductee into the Georgia Southern Athletics Hall of Fame.
I was thinking about tackling Adrian until I heard that you, one man, didn't do it. I passed you up on this one. Good evening.
Good evening.
Certainly it's been good being with you and hearing these talks. These great athletes. First of all, I'd like to thank A.D. Baker and the committee for choosing me to be on this prestigious group of people, with this prestigious group of people. And particularly Tony Fair, I'd like to thank you. I understand you nominated Ray and me. And I think it's appropriate that Ray came before me, because he did. He was a senior. Whenever I got there, he made All-American at Bruton Parker. I knew he would be the 1-2 punch. He'd be the first punch. There are 3 entities that combined are more, or were more influential on me making this Hall of Fame. Parents, coaches, and my teammates. Actually, my first coach was my mother. And according to my aunts back then, I was a handful. Around 2 years old. Now, if you don't know what a handful is, volunteer to babysit a 2-year-old for about 2 hours. Don't know what a handful is. So, my mama, in order to wear me down and give me lunch, sleepy enough, she could get her nap, and I would nap along with her. What she did is she got 4 or 5 balls, starting about the size of a softball, escalating on up to about the size of a soccer ball. And she would roll me these balls and roll them past me so I could run. And as I got older, about three years old, I could start catching them. I would catch them and throw them back. So she was responsible, I think, for developing my eye and hand coordination, which you coaches know is very important. So then she turned me over to Miss Young. And notice I said Miss Young. We didn't call her coach. She was a 6th grade teacher and coached the boys' middle school team. And she is the one responsible for putting that burning desire to succeed, that fighting spirit that it takes to be successful, not only in sports, Dr. Keel, but in business and other fields of life. All of these members that are on this Hall of Fame, I don't know much about except Ray. But I do know this one thing about them without even meeting them and hearing them talk tonight. All of them have that burning desire. They had it way back, either born with it or that they had a coach, teacher like I had in Miss Young. That willing to fight to win is illustrated best in a story I've heard. I'm from Southwest Georgia. I guess you can tell by the way I speak. It's nice to be back in where people can understand you better. Somebody said, "What'd you say?" So it's good to be back in iced tea country. I asked for a cup of coffee, and the guy who was one of the waiters looked at me like I was crazy. Coffee? And I said, "Uh-oh, I'm in iced tea country." I realized then. But this story that I'm going to tell you is about the champion dog of the world. He'd never been beaten. He'd beaten every dog that he faced. And his owner, to keep him in shape, keep him in fighting shape in case he could find somebody to fight him, was out jogging with the dog. And he saw on the corner down there, coming this way, a man with a little dog on his legs, wasn't about that tall. He did have a rather long body. It was painted a bright yellow. And he looked at the dog, so short. He said, "Well, at least it'll be some practice." And he approached the guy and said, "Sir, how about our 2 dogs fighting?" And the guy said, "No, I wouldn't suggest that. And so the guy said, "Well, I'll give you $1,000. The guy said, "No, can't accept $1,000 for our dog's fighting. Well, he finally realized he wasn't going to buy his man. So he said, well, if I just unleash him and let him go, he has no choice but to fight. So he unleashed him and let him go, and all of a sudden that short dog became all mouth and went whoop, his head dropped. The guy jumps back and he says, my word, man, what kind of dog is that? He said, well, before we cut his tail off and painted him yellow, we call him Alligator. So, I'm sorry, I'm 70 is the new 50, so I'm going to admit I'm over 70. The basketball player, where are you? Yeah. You played against players taller than you, didn't you?
Absolutely.
I played basketball here also. I'll get into that later. You know that the little short dog, you were that little short dog. So I was on the basket of guys 6'8", 6'9", and I had to play a little like Charles Barkley. Remember Charles Barkley? Some of you probably weren't around Charles Barkley. But, Charles was rather rough on the basket. So I had to put my body against those 6'8", 6'9" guys. So height is not everything. Being smart is not everything. Like kill it's what you do with what you know. So short, you have to do something to overcome that if you're going to play sports. And if you're going to be successful in the field of any field, business or whatever, you have to not care about what your IQ is, but what you do. Getting back to Miss Young, she was a giant in my life and other lives. If you can picture a woman out coaching hard-headed boys, but she had no trouble. All she had to do is give you that eagle eye. I was in the 5th grade. She taught 6th grade, next room over. And Ray, we would hear her take them out in the hall. And you could hear all over the school. All school. I said, well, Miss Ruby got her another one. And I became a philosopher in the field. I said, Tracy, you are not going to make that woman mad. So she not only coached the middle school, the high school basketball coach left. And she took over the high school team. So she was our coach from middle school on up to high school. And she called Coach J.B. Scares and said, I'd like for you to come down and see this player. So he came, and it just so happened I had my best night of my high school career, scoring 48 points and playing against a 6'6" guy. 6'6" back then was tall. Now we probably wind up playing shooting guard or maybe even point guard. So she was actually the reason that got me to Georgia Southern through basketball, because he offered me after that game a full scholarship to play. And whenever I went over to visit, I was used to in high school lines about 15, 20 people, 25, and you know, zip right on in, get your meal, get out. Well, when I visited Georgia Southern, either of those then only had 3,000 students. To me, an old country boy, that was just too much. And so I decided that I needed to go to a smaller college. I had other offers to larger universities, but never visited because I knew what the lunch line was going to look like. I said parents and coaches great influences on my life. Miss Young, whenever I went out for the 6th grade team, well actually the whole junior high team was called junior high back then. After the first day's practice, she called my dad that night. She said that you'll put him up a basketball goal in the backyard, he'll get a scholarship to college. So in 2 or 3 days, my dad had a basketball goal up out there. And J.E. Rowe won't have any problem believing this. Hold your hand up, J.E. J.E. was a teammate for quite some time. I'm going to get a team here in a minute. Got that goal up, and I spent hours out there. And I read later on, I didn't know about it then, but later on, if you picture something in your mind that you're going to do in the future, then when you get there and actually doing it, you do a little bit better because that mental thinking about it. So this is what J.E. have a hard time believing. I would get the ball and I would dribble down the floor and I'd say the score is tied. Rivers has the ball. Rivers shoots. The horn goes off and the ball goes in. And they win. I'm going to pause right there for the team. Jay, would you stand up, please? Make it up after that. Okay. He and Ray Mims and you're still here, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
You're still with us. Okay, you sound did a good job. Dal McDermott. Stand up, Dal. Dal was not on the team, but he was manager trainer at Reuben Parker. And we call him the sixth man because he was so helpful with the spirit of the team, which is very important to coaches and former players. Realize You sit down, Dale. Doing well. He had this thing that he called skids. He said, we're going to get out the skids. Meaning you get the skids under and slide them right out of the trunk. So he was a spiritual leader. And in baseball, was considered the number 10th man because of spirit, right? He was always keeping the team spirit up. Let me get my place back. I skipped over. Okay, whenever I was playing, Jay and I were playing at Bruton Park at the same time. As a matter of fact, I forgot about this. Jay and I started out playing on the South All-Star baseball team. We went 6 years playing together. The high school All-Star game, Bruton Parker, and then Georgia Southern. And somebody mentioned something about Georgia Southern and how much it meant to them. After I graduated and played professional baseball, I went on job interviews. And I never filled out an application, Dr. Keel. They just got into talking with me about 5 minutes on how great their high school was, high school jobs there. And at the end, I offered me the job. And the reason for that is Coach J.B. Skeer said Georgia Southern's reputation. Okay, whenever our illustrious AD here contacted me, somebody said they were surprised. Surprise wasn't the word for it. See, first of all, I only played here 2 years. And I didn't think people that only played 2 years were eligible. I thought guys like you played 4 years, you're eligible. And by the way, all those strikeouts that are on his record, the reason they're on there, he had a major league curveball. And that's rare in college. You usually learn that pro ball his first year or two. So, with my 2 years, I had a 10-5 record. Now, there's some pitchers that would kill for a 10-5 record, but that will not get you in the Hall of Fame. I'm not right. I got to talk. When somebody says superior, it might have been something you're writing. That'd be a superior. So with my 2-year record, even though I batted over 300 and had a 10-5 record, and 3 earned run average, it's great. But the reason I'm standing here tonight is that Ray and J.E. got me into the national tournament because we were in the region playoffs, and I'm getting close to the end, moderator. Ray had pitched us to another one. We pitched us to the finals of the region playoffs. got the ball here, doing one of my practice pitches. It was like a butcher knife stuck into my shoulder. And I called the coach out and I said, Coach Clemens, I can't make it. And so the relief pitcher was able to hold him down, and we went to the national tournament. Now, Coach Clemens carried me to the doctor after the game. He gave me a shot in the shoulder and said, do not let him even toss the ball for 7 days. So we get out to the national tournament and Ray wins the first game. Well, you had a team.
You're right.
We pictures sometime on this body. So Ray and the J.E. and we had a tremendous team. And so there we are. The next game, the Coach Clemens said, you'll be pitching tomorrow night. So the next night, being my, one day, the next day, after the 7th day. So I went down and warmed up. He never asked me how my arm felt because he knew that if you ask a pitcher how your arm feels, the pitcher's going to say great because he doesn't want to come out of the game. And so I go down and I warm up and everything feels okay. So I went back in the dugout, still didn't ask me how my arm felt. So the game started and I had one of my best games of my career. Even though we got beat by Abundant in a run, still counted as a win. So the next day, it had rained so much that they had to get the tournament over because it was a pro league, minor league field, and they were coming back. They had to have the field. So we lost by a flip of a coin. There were 3 teams. They flipped the coin and it put Whitworth in the finals. And it put us playing the defending national champions. That should have been the playoff game, but that's life. So Coach Clemens turns to me and said, have you ever pitched a game with 1 day's rest? I said, no, but I sure will try. So he said, you'll be the pitcher then. So there we are, and you baseball fans might not know the name, but if you've been around baseball, you remember Lou Brock. The Lou Brock who made the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. And he batted 5th in their order. The reason he batted 5th in their order is the top 3 men were faster than him, if you can believe that. You remember Lou Brock won base stealing, somebody beat him later on. So we were able to defeat the defending champions, and Ray failed to mention that he pitched the next day, but he failed to mention that in one of the earlier games he got hit in the head and spent the night in the hospital. And so it was serious, must have been serious enough for him to keep him overnight and observe it. So the guy that was pitching for the other team the next day threw hard. be on his mind. Guys that beat us, in 2 years, he played 2 years in the minor leagues and was in the major leagues the next year. Then he had an injury in his career. Now, I left out this part. One of the reasons, Dal, raise your hand again, please. My arm, as you can imagine, with only 1 day's rest, was rather stiff and sore. So, every time I looked up, here comes Dal in my room. Onto that arm. And by the time the game started, my arm felt like a wet spaghetti noodle. So there was no problem. I went out and was able to pitch, but it was because of Dal's massaging. I want to end with a poem. Rod McEwen is one of my favorite poets. He wrote a poem that it can be used in regular life. Him being a romantic poet, wrote it to, it was obvious to a girlfriend he was leaving or a wife. And he goes like this: we had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun. And I want to say to you tonight that this season in the sun has been great. And I look forward to the day that I'm in that place where there's a light brighter than the sun. And the seasons will always be joyful and always be fun for eternity. Good night.